The following program is brought to you with limited commercial interruption.
Today's broadcast is being simulcast in broken English.
I'm here to show the world. I'm here to show the world.
Welcome to the show that we're doing right now.
What the hell are we doing on this show?
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
It jumped up a notch.
It did, didn't it?
Let's go.
What is this?
Giggity, 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 goo.
Who else but
The Q.
it's showtime?
Gentlemen, let's get down to business.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Yeah, I can dig it, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Q. You're listening to the best pop culture, current events, current affairs show east or west of that Mississippi River, hailing from the great city of St. Louis and worldwide at theqnow.com. I am your host, Mark Bland. Oh, I want to cover more of the Francis Howell thing this week ahead of the election, so we're going to be doing a little bit of that. It seems as though the killing just can't stop, Jason, and it's becoming weird and a commonplace thing, and I want to discuss that a little bit. And I'm joined today, ladies and gentlemen, by two great gentlemen. One, Mr. Jason Cole.
Hello, sir.
And one, Mr. Matthew Kruger.
Hello, sir.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing all right.
You guys are both doing all right. You sound great. You sound great, both of you. But you know, Jay, right off the bat, off the air, you just came up with an interesting thing I wanted to talk about. You were talking about how you went before you got on the show here. Yep. You stopped by the little gas station by the radio station, and they seem to be out of supplies.
Everything.
And now, is this a commonplace thing recently? Has it been noticed like it's becoming a thing?
The last time I was there, it was fine.
It was fine.
This time,
this
is the only cup available. This 4 foot tall
out
cup
of everything.
I believe they call that a yard. Right? That is a big cup and they're out of like common
Das
stuff.
Cup.
Regular Pepsi, Mountain Dew.
Okay,
like
I wanted to talk.
Popular
I'm
things.
glad that you brought this up because I wanted to talk about this for one quick second. Now, here's my issue. I went to go get my oil changed at a Walmart of all places because, hey, listen. For the oil change that they do and what I get, it's $25 to $30. It's not really expensive, and all you need is an oil filter. And I'm the son of an auto mechanic, ladies and gentlemen. So, growing up, learning about cars, how to work on them, how to fix them, how to run them properly. That's all my life's been. I don't need the super $79.99 conventional extra special oil with the. I don't. All I need is a regular oil change with a filter. And 5 brand new quarts of oil. That's all you need.
The only thing those places have on Walmart is they're quick. Walmart could take hours.
It can take at least a couple hours. Now,
crazy.
I went to go get my car done, and I was told that they couldn't give me, check this out, they couldn't give me, I guess they call it their pit crew or something like that is what their lowest level one is.
Yeah.
It's some, okay, so
they don't top anything off
for the sake of ours, well, they do the fluid on the wipers and then just the oil, that's it. It's okay.
$10 more, they'll touch the
Right, yeah. I got it. I don't need you to check my tires that you're not going to rotate anyway. I don't need any of that. All right, so here's the deal. The guy goes, listen, we don't have the oil that falls into the pit crew level that you're willing to pay. So we're not going to be able to do your oil change today. Now, I will tell you, we can do your oil change if you go up to our mid-level. $49.99.
This might be a sales tactic. It's a bait and switch.
Okay. Now, then I go, well, what kind of oil do you use for the pit crew? And the guy goes, well, for your car, it's 5W20. And I go, yeah. And he points over and he goes, yeah, you see, I'm out of 5W20. And I was like, oh, yeah. I see one there. It's a full synthetic. I see a semi-synthetic next to it, but you're out of the regular. And then I saw Pennzoil had a regular 5W20 sitting right there. It was ready to go. Like, he could have used that. But they have to use specifically Quaker State for that. Here's the best part. Guys, we've all been to Walmart. We know SuperTech exists, okay? SuperTech is their brand of their oil, their filters, their everything. If you are Walmart, wouldn't you think that SuperTech is the oil that you would use, the filters that you would use? Also, by the way, if I see cases and cases of it sitting behind the places you're pointing, and it's SuperTech oil, and it's cheaper than the stuff you're going to give me, right? Quaker Steak's up here.
Yeah.
Pennzoil's up here. Valvoline's up here. SuperTech, a little bit lower.
a little low.
That's a B movie, right, guys?
Probably a licensing issue.
I would say that Valvoline and Pennzoil.
Or like a rights issue with Quaker State.
Maybe they have something going on.
Valvoline and Pennzoil would probably be A+ movies, right? Those would be movies with A stars, right?
Yeah.
I would say that a SuperTech movie would probably be a B movie, right? We'd have some C and D
It's a
listers.
Desi movie.
It's a Desi movie.
SuperTech's like on a Tubi original.
Yeah, it's a Tubi original that doesn't have any background.
Right.
But you understand what I'm saying.
No, I do.
And I was completely blown away that they couldn't just grab some of the SuperTech and put it in my car and charge me the same thing. They can't do that. And that they were unwilling to move off of, then let me get semi-synthetic. Like, let me get high mileage. Like, just switch this for the high mileage and just move on. Make your money and go. Because literally, between your mid-grade and that higher level package,
What is it, $8?
the actual cost for them on their end is almost infinitesimal. Like it's really pennies on the dollar. We're talking maybe 10 to 15 cents, maybe 25 or 50 at the most. But that 50 cents that they lost off of this, they guaranteed got instead of
and you'd come back.
Instead of $25 in their pocket, they got $24.50 in their pocket, and I didn't leave. But because they refused to come up off that 50-cent difference, now I walked away, they lost $25.
You know,
straight up.
My experience with Walmart Automotive is they generally try to find any reason not to work on your car. They always tell you, like, it's a few hours wait. Like, they constantly try to get you to leave.
The one that's closer, you and me tend to live close to each other. The one that's closer to us, that one closes down at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. This isn't COVID, ladies and gentlemen. It's 2023. I am literally talking to you on a microphone in 2023. Right now. Today.
It is. That's true. I can verify that.
That's what I'm just
visually verified.
I find it weird that it's 2023. We're outside of the COVID realm now, for the most part.
Yeah, why are you closing early?
Why are you?
Maybe they just don't have the manpower.
That's probably it.
That is it. They've always told me they don't have the manpower and they already have too many things on their books. That's fair. That's fair. I'm not trying to like make a person work until midnight just to save a buck for me.
I wouldn't hang out until midnight anyway.
Exactly. We're not going to hang out until midnight anyway. So I'm not going to be like, yo, like this is my boy's house on a Friday night and we're going to drink some beers while we work on the car. Like, I'm not going to be pulling up to the Walmart at 11:30 talking about, can I get the oil changed? Like it's not happening.
I went to
11:30 in the morning maybe, but not at night.
I went to a Walmart once and they forgot to put the nut into my oil pan. And
that's
all
crazy.
The oil they gave me drained out in my car.
Man.
And I had to go back.
But the reason I brought this up is because I'm noticing shortages. And it's not just in manpower. I'm noticing now shortages that are coming in supply chain again. It seems like things are not on the shelves as much as they were.
Well,
eggs evidently went up like 700%.
Well, did you hear about the egg farm fires?
Yeah, one.
That's another thing that helped that 700%.
Yeah,
I read
one
that
burned
within
up,
it.
and then one supplier, the bird flu hit them, and they had to kill all their chickens.
Like
That's
a lot of these
crazy.
supply chain
So then you have to
issues
wait months for
are,
chickens
I've
to
heard
get
about
away.
fires in factories,
Right? Yeah.
chemical factories.
That chocolate factory in Pennsylvania
Chocolate factory,
exploded. Like,
plastics
wow.
factories, just like they're just
Right?
blowing up for some reason at an absorbent amount.
No training. They ain't got time to train these
So
guys.
it makes you think like, what's going on behind the
right.
scenes?
Blowing up
Is something going on? And that's the
something going
that's
on.
the inherent conspiracy
Now-
theorist in me a little bit. Man,
now-
like who's starting these fires
To be fair to
cause
this,
all this inflation?
to be fair to this unnamed gas station, some of the shortage might be due to the guy behind the counter.
You're saying
I don't think he's big into working.
Okay, so what
It
you're
doesn't
saying
look like
is
QT Cup, but every time I go into QT, they're not missing anything.
No, they have really good employees. They must.
they pay really
they also,
well.
listen to that.
Yeah.
They pay really well.
So they
Ladies and
retain
gentlemen,
You can support a family working at QT.
Yeah.
Republicans out there who absolutely hate the minimum wage this and the living wage that. They pay really well.
Yeah, but
and
also
so
the people at
therefore,
QT aren't
they-
doing a minimum wage,
What
level
are you talking
of-
about?
of
That's a gas
job.
station.
Well, there's a lot going on.
Nope, that's a gas station.
It is
That's
a
the
gas
same gas station that you had 20 years ago that wasn't a QT.
Yeah.
That was still a Sinclair station.
I've worked at gas stations.
I
before.
worked at a Huck's.
Yeah.
I worked at a Huck's.
Yeah. I was a good employee.
I made minimum wage at Huck's.
QT
No,
offers
I
a
worked-
high level of service. It's not worthy of a minimum wage. They pay better.
Well,
they get
I
better
guess-
service.
I guess so.
You ever seen them when they run two
I love the
registers at
fact
once?
that you keep supporting our idea of just keep giving them living wages up there.
But the problem
You're gonna
is you
get
have a
the
lot of these
same
minimum
quality
wage
of
workers that want
service.
minimum wage, or they want more than minimum wage, but they want to do the minimum wage level of
Do you
service.
think that
Like
all
that
these
guy across the street right now.
Like, do you think that all these people that get the jobs at QT, they're not people who are willing to do minimum
I
wage
have no
jobs?
idea what the vetting process is for employees. at
I
QT.
bet you that they want to do minimum wage jobs just as much. They just want a job. QT just
they
happens
just
to pay
seem-
well, and they got one.
They seem
there.
a higher grade of employee. They just
they seem to care.
So, but you're saying they weed them out better?
I think they hire better, maybe.
Maybe they do.
And they
hire
don't
better.
have to. Well, they don't have to hire based on need. Like, they
But it
don't,
sounds to me
have
like
to-
people find out that you get paid well there.
But you
are
have to
willing
do a
get
good job
jobs
to
and they go
earn
do
that
their job.
paycheck.
That's fine.
And they only.
That's fine. That's part of work.
They only promote from
Yeah,
within.
but a lot of people don't want to work.
Well, I can't
They
help.
want to get paid,
I
but
can't.
not work.
I can't worry
Yeah.
about others. All I
But-
can do is focus on me.
I do know
Amen.
At QT, they do not hire managers. Only people that work there can get promoted to manager. They'll hire you in, I think, at an assistant.
Yeah.
But I talked to someone one time, but only if you're a manager at QT, you've worked for QT and got promoted.
Okay.
So maybe that's part of it. They stick around.
That's fair.
Well, and there might be an investment of culture into internally within QT where they actually care about their community and their company.
I remember I talked
I
to
guess
a
that's
guy.
possible. What I'm saying is I know Missouri people because I've grown up around them. I know how they act. I know how they run. I know how they work. I know how they formulate their sentences. I know how they like to vote. Primarily,
Yeah, I know they
I know all
vote.
of these things, and these are all observable things that you can literally take with you in life. And I can tell you, the people that are going to get jobs at QT are really no different than the people that go to get jobs at the school district,
No,
who end up
yeah.
as janitors, who end up working at GNC at the front counter.
So
they're
what's the
just
difference
normal.
between a QT employee and somebody that works at Conoco?
I think that really
effort.
I think that one, it's a pay thing. I don't think that they're getting paid as well. They're probably getting $3 to $4 less per hour at a Conoco than they are at a QT,
And
for the equivalent job. So a manager here
I
is making
never
20.
get the level of service
this
at a
guy's getting
Conoco that I do
16.
at a
No, you're
QT.
right.
So they're not doing the same level job.
one thing I would say is there's more QTs.
No.
so that-
For the same level on the tier job.
Yeah, maybe.
You're talking about physical ability. I'm not talking about physical. I'm talking about this is a janitor, this is a janitor, this is a front desk guy, this is a front desk. Same style job.
On the
But
surface,
I think
okay,
in,
I can
in
see
our
what you're going
area,
at.
there's so many QTs, the chance for advancement might keep these guys around and make them try a little harder. Because, I mean, how many Conocos are there?
Well, and our population here keeps growing.
Yeah.
But if I got a
So there's
manager,
going to be more QTs, more opportunity for advancement. That
Right.
makes sense.
if I got a manager making $20 an hour at QT, they're probably making $16 an hour at Conoco.
Probably.
Legitimately. Like, I'm not even
Well-
trying to be funny.
Most of the gas stations in this area are owned by 3 companies.
Right.
There's
Correct.
literally 2 to 3 companies, and then they all have different branded, Conoco, Phillips, but they're all owned by
Sure.
Midwest Petroleum. There's I can't remember them now.
Siva
but
King, those different ones.
There's
Yeah,
2 or
yeah.
3, and they own everything. And then there's a couple mom and pop and a few foreign owned things here and there, but most of them are literally 2 to 3.
Interesting.
Yep.
I did not
On the
know
show.
that on the gas side of things.
Yeah.
The more you know.
No, it's funny that you mentioned that because I had a story that I was planning on doing a little later in the show. I can do it real quick now because we were literally just talking about the gas stations.
Find it.
I got to find it. I've got to find it. California is set to regulate profit margins for gasoline refiners.
Hey.
California can begin regulating how much profit the state's oil refiners can earn on selling gasoline beginning this summer under the Governor Newsom's signed law this past Tuesday. With this legislation, we're sending we're ending the oil industry's days of operating in the shadows, said Newsom, a Democrat, after signing the bill. Oil companies had opposed the measure that starting June 26 empowers the California Energy Commission to set a state gross gasoline refining profit margin and to levy penalties for exceeding it. California took on big oil and won. We're not only protecting families, we're also loosening the vice grip big oil has on our politics for the last 100 years. Chevron, the largest oil refiner by volume in the state, called the measure a step backwards and its approval likely to result in less reliable and less affordable fuel for state motorists, said spokesperson Ross Allen. Well, that doesn't make any sense. We'll discuss that in a second.
So we don't get enough money, we're going to make worse product for you?
All of a sudden, our product that we make every day, we're going to make it worse. It's not going to be the same quality. In fact, the minute this law went through, it became horrible inside the ground as we speak.
Look what you did.
Look what you just did to it. Energy investment firm Tudor, Pickering & Holt said this week that independent refiner PBF Energy has the largest single exposure in the California market with 32% of its refining capacity in the state. Wow.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Oil companies are shady.
But here's the thing.
Shady.
That is something I feel is necessary. And I feel it's been necessary for years. I've talked about this on the show for many years. This is not just now because of the oil price or gas prices, typically today. When it was the summers, when I first met Matt, where it was going before the crash and through those years where it was $3.50, $4. It wasn't the rest. It wasn't the rest of the day.
I've been hearing Mark talk about high gas prices for over a decade.
Well over a decade. Like 15 solid to 20 solid years. Like legit.
And how many times do you drive by a station and suddenly it's super expensive for no reason at all?
But here's the funny thing. We've talked about how it used to go for weeks, the same price for weeks, and then would jump 5 cents. And then the neighboring gas company would be like, oh, well, we're going to stay at 89 cents, and it would drop back down.
Yeah.
And it'd be there for another 2 to 3 weeks. Now it's literally every day it can jump 10 to 15 cents every day per hour.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy how quick this stuff can happen. And to take it one quick step further, actually, you know what? Here's what I want to do. I want to get into this a little bit. We're going to take a quick break here on The Q. When we come back, more with myself, Matt Kruger, as well as Jason Culp. We'll be back here on 1280 AM KYRO after this.
Just take those old records off the shelf.
1280 AM
Listen to them by myself.
KYRO.
Today's music ain't got the same soul.
News Radio
That old time rock and roll.
KYRO.com.
Don't try to take me to a disco.
The Q now, Mark Bland, Matt Kruger, Jason Call, hanging out with you on this Saturday afternoon. Every single Saturday, 1 to 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. We love you all. We appreciate it. We were talking about gasoline. We were talking about gasoline prices. And one of the things I was talking about was how I've been talking about it for years. And the weird thing is this idea that California is now going to be able to cap profit margins. And one of the biggest things is back in the first days of when I met Matt, I was bringing up. This is why I want to talk about it. I want to give a little more time in. I remember our conversations on the show would be about the idea of, man, like the summer would end, right? And we get close to like Christmas time. And then like all these things would come out, or like just after the first of the year, all these things would come out about the previous year. And the one that blew our mind every time was Midwest Petroleum, or not Midwest Petroleum, BP.
Yeah.
Like a British Petroleum or someone like that. They would claim that they had $600 million in record profits, more than they had ever amassed in the last 12 years or whatever. Like this. And each summer would be $3. Then the next year it was $3.50. Then the next year it was $4. And I remember Matt worked with me. Matt lost money one night delivering because I used to deliver. He lost money one night delivering with me simply because of gas prices
he didn't make
and the car that he was driving. Well, yeah, because we're talking about a time period where a $2 tip, $3 was a nice tip.
Yep.
$2 is what you were getting or less.
Oh, yeah.
For a pizza delivery tip or a sandwich tip or a whatever, Chinese food delivery or whatever it was. Doesn't matter. $2. So you got $4 gas you're putting into the gas guzzler. You're making, you got a slow night. You only got 2 here, 2 there, 2 there. Before you know it, you've only made $16.
But $23 in gas. In your
There
car.
it is. That's literally what happened.
I think it was one night I was delivering, something was going on with my car, and I had to borrow my dad's Dodge Ram.
Oh, yeah, you did. With the red truck nuts on it. Oh, I remember them. Yeah, truck nuts.
And the thing
Truck
had
nuts.
a big, giant V8.
This is the night I'm talking about specifically.
Yeah.
It takes a gallon of gas just to start it.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Gallon of gas just to, gosh, what's his name? This comedian, Christopher Titus. He's like, my dad had an old 67 LeBaron or something like that. He's like, gas guzzler. He's like, fill it up in the driveway, back it out of the driveway, fill it up again. Right? You know,
Oh, yeah.
So, I didn't make any money that night. I came out negative.
Yeah.
It's
It's horrible.
And I worked like 6 hours.
Yeah,
didn't make a
this is
single
my
dime.
point. This is my point. We've had times like this in the past when things were rougher because our physical dollar in comparison to where things went, not on the same board. The beauty of our situation right now is, yes, they've hit us with this BS inflation over the top because now what was us recovering from a COVID and supply chain issue in America specifically because of COVID.
Yeah.
Okay? We were going to have some higher prices, but because COVID came, everybody kind of had to lose a lot of companies and businesses. People had to find new jobs. They had to raise living wages and rates up higher so that people could offset these things. And it literally got our living wage. A friend of mine sent me a clip of Bill Maher. And Bill Maher, a couple of years ago, was on his show. And he said, the one thing that you never notice if you're a liberal, them dirty liberals, is that they never accept that progress has been made. And I thought about that for a second. I was like, you know what? And then he goes on to explain not so much the physical idea that they don't see that progress has been made. It's that they don't tie themselves into the process that has made it. Yeah. So therefore, they don't bring it up into conversation as much. So it's not fresh off the top. Right? Whereas the conservative is always like 2A, my gun rights. Oh, it's right here, beating their chest about it. That doesn't happen with the liberal very often. And the thing that they could do that with is, we are way more progressive and farther along in life today than we used to be. And I think that's my point is because COVID happened, because it made us change up this and that and blah, 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 blah. We are now progressed down the road further in a short period of time. Because remember, prior to COVID, we argued about $15 an hour working at McDonald's being ridiculous. That was stupid, moronic. Now I have signs outside of Jack in the Box, McDonald's.
Please come work here.
Please come work here. We're paying
give you
$14, $15, $16, $17 an hour.
Sign-on bonuses at
Sign up
KFC.
legitimately. So we have progressed. And because of those wages...
Inflation has gone up.
These kids can't do that. Inflation went up because the whole earth.
Inflation has always been going up for the last 70 years.
Oh, yeah.
But here, I want you guys to hear me out. And Matt, you might not agree, and Jay probably will. I understand where this is going already.
Yeah.
Sometimes you impress me, Matt, though. Sometimes you agree with me. The whole world right now is kind of on the edge of their seat, waiting to see what Vladimir Putin wants to do. Because they know that the minute the S hits the fan, the crap, as they might say, the scrap hits the fan, the S, that's what I meant by S.
Yeah, poopy.
The poopies hit the fan.
The BM.
They know that wherever they live is kind of all they can depend on at that moment in life. And that the rest of the world has kind of gone into self-preservation mode. And that they know that all the supply chains are shutting down. There will be no supply chains because the whole world would think that they're going to war. And right now, the whole earth is running around feeling that way in all these different countries all over the world.
Doesn't feel good, does it?
And so because we're in this position, everybody's keeping things at a high rate to make sure they temper supply chains to make sure that they know that they can handle or weather a storm if it's necessary. The problem is we just had a 2 to 3 year long storm. A huge storm, and we need those supply chains back up and running at full blast just to get everybody here. And if they could, in all the countries, here and overseas, in other countries where we get stuff from, and by the way, there are places that get stuff from us too. Okay, so we have supplies that we have to chain to help out other places. Yeah, I really do believe, Matt, if we could get all them on board and everybody moving at a full rate, as opposed to constantly battling, arguing, worried about all these different things, yeah, we would be fine, bro.
No,
we would be back to...
That wasn't my question. My question was, do you support the tempering of charging more for something to make sure that you save your stock a little bit?
I don't have a problem with the idea of doing that. But I also look at us in this world and on this earth kind of as a unit that we all work together. Even though we're separated from, like, away from each other by, like, all this land and stuff, I always like to think...
Well, that sounds like free market capitalism
Hold
to
on.
me.
Okay, great. I don't... okay, let me say this. I kind of envision us, if aliens wanted to attack the earth, we would all come together.
I don't know.
Today we celebrate our independence.
No.
That great line from the movie from
I
Bill
understand it's a movie in the idea, but
everyone came together.
But that idea that we would all come together does seem plausible to me, because I feel like preservation of the human race would be at the top of our lists for most of us.
War is the great unifier.
So we would all unify to fight a war against them. So this idea that we're all this unit, maybe it doesn't arise all the time, Jason, but this idea that we are this unit that does exist.
Well, there's so many people
interconnected that
we are
there.
us.
I guarantee
they purposefully divide us to make us fight so that we don't focus on what was really going on.
But for you guys, it's semantics.
If we got invaded by
words.
aliens, I guarantee Tucker Carlson would be like the newscaster on The Simpsons. Remember when they thought they were being invaded, and he was like, "I, for one, welcome our warlords."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Our alien overlords.
Yeah, that's Tucker.
No. But you know what? You're right. Like, this idea that we would unify.
50-50.
Right?
But this idea,
Always.
and you said there's divisiveness. Sure, there's divisiveness. I feel like a lot of that is what we call rhetoric. The reason we use the word rhetoric specifically is because it involves words. Words that don't necessarily have or carry any weight. They are useless.
No, your words have meaning, man.
Your words do have meaning,
weight.
but words only have weight if you back them up. That is the problem with words. They do have weight, but you have to back the weight up. That means if I say I will kill you, you must go through with the killing for me to believe, because if you don't do it today and you get down the road a month from now talking about I'm going to kill you, maybe I really will kill you. And then I come back on you, handle that business. You're dead. You didn't back up your words the first time, and I don't give an S. Because that's it. That's life. Like, you effed up. Hey, you
say what you mean and mean what you say.
You effed around and found out is what you did. Right? Oh,
This is
yeah.
the
Everybody
level.
loves that.
But, you're talking about oil companies and their profits. I never understood when they say they have to raise prices because their cost went up, and then they have record profits.
Record profits. If
How
you're
does that
passing,
work?
once again, this goes
Because they're
back
lying to us.
Yeah,
exactly.
there you go.
This goes back to my old gas arguments with
Yeah.
Matt on the show back in the day. We would have these discussions, and it wasn't back and forth against each other. I'm just saying, when we would talk about it, we would talk about the record profits, but they would always say every summer they were passing the buck along to us. These things had to go up because it went up for them. So we always believed it back in 2008. Yet, social media didn't exist at the levels that it does today. And the way we interconnect and talk to each other did not exist. And the things that we share did not exist in the formats that they do today. So that ability to educate each other slowly over time wasn't as prevalent. It was on its way. It was building up, but we were still at the beginnings of Facebook, the beginnings of Twitter, the beginnings of all these things. MySpace was still prevalent. And by the way, MySpace was not like Facebook and Twitter. It was not this constant conversation that was going on. If you remember, MySpace was post a picture, maybe some music played. That was it. Like, that was all of my
life.
Come back tomorrow.
There was no like post your thoughts here. Let me just put my ideas here. Right? Facebook started off with, what's going on today? Tell me about your day. And that's where we all said, I don't need to know about Bonnie's day. I saw her at the high school reunion, and that's all I cared to see her
I'll
at.
see her 10 years later.
Now I don't want to see her, but now I have to see her every day, so I don't have a reason to catch up with her.
Like, I understand record sales when costs go up and you have to raise your prices. Record sales make sense, not profits.
Right.
Because
You should not
your
be having
profits should
record
stay
profits.
the same because you had to pay more.
And
Why
right
are
now,
you making more?
Right now, you might have profits in a record way compared to 2022, 21, and 20 because of COVID and the lack of people using gasoline as much. But at the same point, you should not be having record anything right now because we have to reset the base standard because COVID raised the prices on everything because of inflation from the supply chains. Now, a bunch of stupid Americans on the backside with their damn futures, you were talking about, went out of their way to go, oh, my stock futures are going to be worth this. No, they're not. You literally bull Stearns just everything. Right? I got Jim Cramer over there, and SVB's going under, and he's like, buy. And they're like,
he couldn't be.
What are you talking about? No, this is going under in a month. But he's a month before it. Buy. These people are nuts. They all are in their own echo chambers. They listen to each other
so much
on conservative radio stations, similar to this 1280 AM KYRO Fox News Radio affiliate. The blowtorch of the Midwest. Correct, Matt. Jason. Correct, Matt Jason. Your new names are Matt Jason. I'll just call you both Matt Jason, and then I will
never screw up.
If I say Jason, Jason Matt, you guys can look at me and go, no, it's Matt Jason.
Yeah.
It's Matt Jason. But no, that's an issue. Right? We're talking about Walmart with the supply chain, and they're not getting oil in. I've got gas prices all over the board, 50 cents at a time, jumping up and down like we were talking about earlier. We've got all this inflation, but we've got record profits at every company. Guys, companies don't have record profits during inflation.
Something's not adding up.
Yeah.
Companies don't have record profits during inflation. Ladies and gentlemen, inflation has happened in America prior to 1988. Going into that presidential election, George Bush was dealing with inflation problems.
That is true.
And guess what? Companies were not profiting. Maybe companies that started that year never made $1 ever in history before it.
Yeah.
They made a profit that year for the first time ever.
Yeah, sales go up, profits should not.
Profits do not go up when you have inflation of this record level. It just doesn't happen. And guys,
and a lot of companies don't want profits because they can get tax credits.
Yeah.
So here's the deal.
Weasels.
I need all of you to lower your prices. That's it. Across the board. Every industry, every standard.
I mean, they sent that insulin guy to jail, didn't they? Scarelli?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shkreli.
Yeah.
But you're right.
Yeah.
You're close. You're close.
Drug.
Shkreli.
Because he was charging a ridiculous amount of money.
$700 per unit.
And they sent him to jail. So why isn't Exxon, BP...
Well, he did some other shady stuff.
Well,
I'm not fully informed.
All right,
so.
I don't want to say this. Okay, you know what, Matt? I'm going to answer your question. We're going to take a quick break here on the Q now. When we come back, I'm going to answer Matt's question. Why is the guy who leads Exxon or BP or some of these companies, why they are not going down? Okay, I'm going to answer that for you when we come back right here on the Q now. $12:80 a.m. KYRO. A little slip knot for you. Double and I. Matt Kruger, Jason Call. This is Jason. This is the Q now. We have been talking about gas prices in our world and inflation and how everything is going in it. And Matt brought up before we hit the break, he said, hey, listen. All of these gas companies, right? Like your Exxons and your BPs, Jason, they all got people at the head of them. And there was that Martin Shkreli guy. He was the one who did the medical company with the diabetes stuff. And he was charging too much for insulin.
I think it was a cancer drug.
Or something. No, maybe it was one of those. I thought it was. I really thought it was insulin of some sort.
That was the West Virginia.
No, I thought he was in charge of a company that had insulin because they had multiple drugs that they were doing under Shkreli, and one of them was insulin, and he had bumped it from
the cancer drug was the big one. He upped it like 7,000% or something crazy.
Right, and so anyway, I heard that he had gone $700 for a unit of insulin.
I know.
Which was a crazy, crazy number. And
Manchin's daughter did that to EpiPens.
now, he went to jail, correct, Matt?
Yes.
Yeah.
He did. And Matt's wanting to know why these other people don't go to jail. And you're going to hate this answer, Matt.
I believe he's out of jail now.
Shkreli?
Yeah.
That's very possible. I don't know. That was like 2016, 17. I feel like he would have been in jail for at least 10 years or something. Maybe he's out. It's possible. I don't know. I could be wrong. Matt could be completely right. I have no idea. I will say this, though. What were we talking about again? Oh, yeah, the people, why they're not in
why
jail.
he goes to jail for inflating the price so much and why the executives
people with
of these
the-
other people don't.
Correct. Well, we don't hold people accountable in this country for the things that they're guilty of. We don't do it.
We definitely don't do it here in St. Louis.
We don't do it, period. We, in general, like to give the wealthy and the rich the night off. We just do.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I don't care who you are. At the time the OJ trial was going on, too many people knew OJ Simpson
He's not going to jail.
probably killed those people.
100%.
Every single one of us, was like, if he did it, I mean, when he did it, how he did it. I mean, he even wrote the book. If I did it, this is my story, or
and
whatever.
then they
it was.
wouldn't publish it. So then the family, what is it? The Goldman family,
Yeah, the Goldman family
was like,
and they had put the
if really, really tiny on it.
Yeah,
I did it.
Right, but that's my point. Is like rich people who've got fame and wealth and power can get out of things easier than everybody else. They just can. And Donald Trump is proving that as we speak. You have these individuals at these different companies. And you know, Matt, some of this is, there's one problem. Their CEOs are at their world headquarters. And some of those world headquarters are not the top guy at the top of the building in New York City for Exxon.
It's like Vought.
That guy might be at the top of the tower in Paris, France, where BP is located.
Small aside, it was a cancer drug.
It was a cancer drug.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's called Daraprim.
Okay.
It went from $13.50 to $750
There
per
it is.
pill.
There it is.
And it is it treats a rare parasitic disease that targets pregnant women, cancer patients, and AIDS patients.
Okay. So it's already
Thank
a
you, Google.
really niche group of individuals who need this. So you could already charge a relative like, hey, listen, if this pill is that valuable to such a small group of people, okay, I could charge you like $2 to $5 a pill. You could get like a bottle of pills, like as long as it takes only 5 days for $25, $30, whatever. Like you could charge a premium like that.
Yeah.
You start talking about $100 a pill?
Right?
That's some money, man. That's on a pill.
And insurance isn't
And you gotta take 7 of them. So now it's $700 for this one medicine. That's a lot of money, but
A lot of dead
it
people.
sounds like it's for a parasitic infection. So if it's a specific type of parasite, once this is done, it's done. There should be no it coming back.
It had like
Because it's a
multiple
parasite.
uses, too.
It has to find you
Well,
again.
you have to find out where you got the parasite from and what the percentage of reinfection is, and then depending on what the parasite is and how it lays eggs in the larval stage and all that fun stuff, like is it in your sheets, is it in the carpet, where is it, and you might get reinfected. It just kind of depends. I kind of know a lot about parasites.
Jason, we had the people from Francis Howell on
Yes.
last week. Matt, you were not here.
I was not.
Yeah.
But they were fantastic. Jamie Martin came on the show. She was fantastic. We loved having her here. And she was from Francis Howell Forward, representing a group of individuals that are trying to get elected to the school board. Harry Harrison, or Harry, I think Harry Harrison, or Harry,
Amy Easterling.
Amy Easterling and Doug Zigmeyer.
Yeah.
Anyway, Harry Harris. I'm sorry. Yeah. Something like that. Something down that road. I'm sorry. I feel bad for that gentleman. I'm not trying to be rude or mess his name up. But I've got an issue that I didn't bring up to Jamie Martin because I feel like there is a problem. Now, Jason, I don't want to get into specifics of anything because of you.
That's right.
I'm just going to state my claim, my case, and that's it. If you want to comment,
I might even agree with you.
if you want to comment, you are welcome to.
Yes.
At your own discretion. I'm just saying that. Because I'm not pushing our friend into putting himself into any pickles or binds that.
Like, hey, we want to talk to you.
Yeah, we want to talk to you now, bro.
Pickle Jason.
Yeah, Pickle J.
I'm Pickle Jason.
First off,
what's up?
First off, you're Pickle Matt Jason. Get it right.
I forgot about that.
Get it correct. No. I feel that the Francis House School District has a bullying issue.
I think a lot of school districts have an issue with that.
And I think that this is a real problem. And I don't think that it's addressed enough. And I think the kids should get in a lot more trouble for it earlier and quicker to teach them a lesson so that they don't try to drag it into high school and beyond. Now, my information is from my personal experiences dealing with said school district, which my kids do attend, along with just personal experiences within the business of teaching from my past. And, mostly there are going to be pieces of information given to me by my children directly, which, by the way, the situations I'm dealing with at the school, because I only handle my kids. I don't handle Jay's kids, Matt's kids, or other kids who might be in the same school district or not in the same school district or whatever. It doesn't matter. I only worry about my kids.
When you're done talking about it, I have a theory of why this is happening at multiple school districts throughout the country.
And there is, especially in the red states, I know that there is this tough guy persona that they try to put on at home. And as a man who steps into a wrestling ring at the MMWA and is willing to take punches and kicks to the face in a fist fight with a human being at any time, I understand toughness. Like true toughness. Like on your own, a pro wrestling ring is not the place for a real fight to break out. The reason why is the referee thinks you're in on it. The crowd thinks you're in on it. The other wrestler who's beating you up in real life knows that everybody thinks you're in on it. The ref is not going to pull me off of you because we're supposed to be fighting.
Yeah.
That's literally what we're supposed to be doing. The crowd believes we are in the middle of a fight. They're not going to help you. You are on your own, one-on-one with an individual. You are by yourself, and there is no one. Even though there's hundreds around you, all watching at the same time, there's no one to save you. Then you learn how truly tough you can be in a moment. And I've been down that road a few times in my career. A few times. So I don't mind it. I'm comfortable with that type of stuff happening. It doesn't bother me. I don't go out of my way to create it.
No.
I don't go out of my way to promote it or facilitate it in any form or fashion because it's unprofessional as hell. But I do understand it very well. So here's the deal. Bullying, when you're learning it from people that aren't truly tough, just becomes you being an a-hole. Okay? I said earlier to Matt, you have to be able to back the words up. You can say whatever you want in this world, but true bullies back the words up. Like, they'll punch you. They'll hit you. They'll fight you. Mm-hmm. They'll get it on with you. They're not scared. Like Mark. Not saying I'm a bully. I'm just saying, like, they're not scared. They'll get it down with you. That's just who they are as people. These people procreate. They have children. They teach their children a more rough and tumble style of growing up.
Yep.
My way or the highway kind of attitude, specifically in red states, very prevalent. And it's the reason why there's a lot of kids who don't have good relationships with their parents. They don't. Because that my way or the highway is a tough thing to just fall into when you're trying to grow up and become who you are. It's difficult. But there's too many parents that are trying to teach it, and it's taking it to school. And the kids are now getting into weird things in their lives. Because you see, parents, you are not controlling the social media intake of your children. And I'm guilty. Jason's guilty. Any parent who has allowed their kids onto social media in any form or fashion is guilty.
Yeah, you can't watch everything
Can't watch everything, but listen, they can get to a lot.
real fast.
Sliding their little finger up on the phone. Things that will pop up into their feed that they will learn about. These kids at the age of 12 arguing with you, they are not at the same level that me and Jason and Matt were at the age of 12.
No, bullies have a reach today. They can get
Bullies got a
wide,
reach now.
right?
These kids
They can
can
make you feel
really
bad in front
get
of a
it
lot of
in.
people
Exactly. Real fast. And so it's a different game. And I think that that's part of the problem. You see, there is what is said at school physically, kid to kid, right?
Yeah.
But then there's the thousands of unchecked conversations behind the scenes that are keeping the bubbling alive. And I mean it. It is boiling underneath like a stew, keeping that meat on top, just percolating, just cooking and percolating. And that's all it's doing. Poke the bear, poke the bear, poke the bear. All it is from underneath, over and over and over. And then, of course, the bully pops up here. Here comes the kid. We got to have the problem. It's weird. The way that the alienation happens now, the way that they section off into groups, the way that they attack. It is groupthink now. It is not, hey, I'm Milo the bully. Milo's going to beat me up. Milo's going to be mean to me, and that's all I got to worry about. No. Now Milo's got a group chat with 6 other people, and 3 of them are girls from your class or guys from your class, friends of your friend or friends of another friend. And they are all talking trash on you.
I bet most bullying today is cyberbullying. That is probably, I don't think it's physical altercations like it was like when we were kids and some, at the end of your day, some kid wants to fight you and because he's bigger.
No,
Also-
now those happen in McDonald's, Waffle House, and gas stations.
But also the
employee to customer.
The kids that grew up on the internet before this generation, the millennials, right? Gen X had computers. We are in our 20s and 30s as the internet revolution kind of happens. We're moving. That's what I'm saying. I was like 30 in 06. So we're moving into our 20s and 30s. So we are actually in the workspace creating the internet and the archetype that becomes Facebook and Twitter and this and that. Like, we are those people. We are creating your internet the way you ingest it today.
Oh, yeah.
You should thank Gen X for that. You're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome, guys.
Now, right on the heels of us was the millennials. They were still a little younger, but they had their social media. They had their MySpace. They were starting to be the formulation of YouTube in the early days of all that. Like, they were right there, too.
Yeah.
Getting into high school, graduating high school. The rules the millennials formulated for how they ghost each other, how they get rid of each other from their lives, the way that they do that on social media, they taught an entire generation of people and every generation after them, this is an acceptable way to handle yourself as an adult.
And it's not.
This is the closing down, shutting everyone off, telling them that they are wrong is unacceptable. I've had this conversation with Matt in 2010. I've had this conversation with other people at other times in life. I've had this conversation to me, telling me this to my face. In 2002. I remember all of these times. My time that it happened to me, all the times I had it with other people, I remember all of them. But it's the only way to really be on each other's team. It really is. And I want you guys to take that to break with you. What we need is a little bit more of being on each other's team.
That's what I tell my kids.
Talking to each other.
We're on Team Kruger.
There you go.
We're all on Team Kruger. We'll be back on 1280 AM KYRO after this. AM KYRO.
You get a shiver in the dark. It's raining.
Mark Bland, joined by Matt Kruger and Jason Cole, or Matt Jason and Matt Jason. Matt Jason Kruger and Matt Jason Cole. The Matt Jasons.
A band is blowing Dixie, double fall time.
Yeah, they're blowing Dixie down to Fogtown, bro. You guys ever been to Fogtown?
No.
You ever met Foghat?
Nope.
Yeah, he's got a hat. It's a fog.
Is it foggy?
It's a foggy hat. All right, boys. We got to get serious for a second here.
Let's do it. I'm capable.
Sometimes.
Right.
Francis Howell, get rid of your bullying issue. Francis Howell School District.
Everybody get ready.
What you wanted to say was what happened 8 years ago.
8 years ago, Trump shows up,
That's right.
normalizes treating people terrible.
That's true.
I mean, it really normalized
if you were in fourth grade at the time,
I mean, yeah, right.
how old are you now?
You're going in your senior year. Or
Senior
maybe
year?
Maybe you're 1 year out. I don't know. Depending on maybe you got held back, maybe you didn't. But he normalized. Like, can you imagine, like, when you were a kid, hearing someone, a presidential candidate, call a woman a fat pig?
I know.
And then people don't, like, get horrified,
Right.
or saying terrible things, the grab him by the pee. We got all that. It didn't bother anybody.
Now,
because
Matt,
he
I have a question
desensitized
for you.
people.
Okay.
Were you a Trump supporter at any time?
Yes.
Would this have been the entire time? The beginning, the middle? Like,
Definitely not the entire time. I supported him with a vote for president, but there were definitely things that he has said and done that I do not agree with or align with.
and this vote for president, was it the first election, the second election?
Both.
It was both. So you still voted for him, even after 4 years and everything that was said
I still
that you
felt
did.
as though he was a better choice than the other candidate.
Okay, that's fair. There's nothing wrong with that. What drew you to him in the first place?
Taxes, actually.
Just taxes? Well, he didn't do anything really, so he was fine.
That was
It
it.
perfect
Well,
for you.
he lowered taxes and he lowered regulations and restrictions, and I kind of supported those.
Except for it's now 2023. And the only problem that I have with your support of those things, sir, which is not a knock on you personally, but your support of those things has led to problems when it comes to filing my taxes and the amount of monies that I get back because of the tax moves that he made in 2017 to change up the tax code that didn't go in effect until
Took
this
a lot of things
year
away
specifically.
from middle-class families.
And man, that sucked.
Yeah, like
It was
removing your,
not
your
cool.
house interest
Today.
That was a big one.
Now. And I don't give a crap about 2017. I care about how I felt 2 months ago
Right.
when I found this out because it's fresh.
I
And
I
it
kind of
sucked.
support. I support having a smaller government. Less of an inflated government, less laws, regulations, restrictions.
But he actually
Lower
had a
taxes.
larger government.
All he wants
added
is
like
more
$8
government.
trillion.
Yeah,
I didn't agree with that, but I
crazy.
have seen what I believe the Democrats want to do, which is generally inflate everything and have a policy and an organization for everything.
Hey.
And I don't generally support that.
Okay.
I would like my government to stay out of my life more.
The reason that I asked you if you were a Trump supporter, and we're not going to go down this road specifically, but I feel like it's something that it's like an elephant in a room type thing. So I might as well just get out of the way early. Okay. We had another mass shooting at a Nashville Christian school. A young lady suffered from an emotional disorder, police said this past Tuesday. It's not yet clear whether she was motivated by an ideology or discrimination. They have found a manifesto. They have read through this. Trans people, because if you don't know, a trans shooter killed 6 people at a Nashville school, and it sent shockwaves through the transgender community, of course. Raising tough questions about militancy, mental health issues, and all regarding a marginalized group on the woke side. If you go woke, you go broke side, right? Like if you bring up the woke side of things,
Yeah.
a marginalized group,
Yeah, no, definitely.
which is where they are, kind of placed.
they're also an easy target.
Audrey Aiden, the male name she tried to choose, Hale rampaged through the Covenant School this past Monday, murdering 3 children and 3 adults. Investigators and analysts have looked on her trans identity and how this may have played a role in the bloodbath. National Police Chief John Drake told reporters of a theory that Hale, a biological woman who had recently started the he/him pronouns and the moniker Aiden, had launched the attack as a manifestation of her shifting gender identity. Hale, 28, was heavily armed and fatally shot 3 children and 3 adult staffers at the private Christian elementary school she once attended in Tennessee's capital city before herself being shot and killed by police officers. The motives for the attack were not immediately clear. Hale had drawn detailed maps of the school, including entry points for the building, and left behind a manifesto and other writings that detectives had been studying since. A doctor had been treating her for an emotional disorder. Drake had said this past Tuesday, despite the he/him pronouns, Hale is most often described as a female who was in a provisional stage of gender transition. So this is a beginning stage. This is I have declared that I'm going to go down this road.
Yeah, very beginning.
We have not moved towards the physical manifestation of this at all.
No commitment, no nothing yet.
Hale was at odds with her devout Christian parents. It's well known.
Yeah.
Church coordinator Norma, 61, and her husband Ronald, because they couldn't accept that she was gay and trans, a source told the media. They always claim the need to put God in schools, guys. But this was a Christian school.
Yeah. And she went there.
And rich. Belle Mead Plantation is where this is located. That's where Taylor Swift and some of the richest people in Nashville have houses.
That's where she lives?
Yeah.
Yeah,
She has a house down there.
Yeah, no,
but it's
I knew
in
that.
Belle Mead Plantation. So we're talking big money, boys. Big money.
That's a private school.
Right. And by the way, female.
Yeah.
A female shooter this time.
Only the 5th one.
Like, this is not your typical male.
Yeah.
And I know people try to play with the trans part and this, that, and the other. No.
I know.
At the time, she was female.
Yeah, I don't buy
She's a
that.
female shooter.
She may have given herself her, he, him moniker and
Sure.
all that, but there was no commitment.
No, there wasn't.
Don't.
We were at the beginnings, as they said, a provisional stage. But I can't fathom the rage and hate a person has to feel to shoot at young children, Jay.
All right,
Matt,
this is pure evil.
You know? Just going about their day. Every shooting is a tragedy, but young children is a class of evil all into itself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a different level of evil.
And she went to that school and attended that church. So I don't buy this Josh Hawley nonsense where he's calling this a hate crime and he wants all. She went there. You can't. How do you have a hate crime against your own?
Evidently, word has gotten out that maybe she was distraught over the identity of a fellow trans individual who passed away recently, very recently, and it kind of threw her for a loop. Hey, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I know you love to listen to the Q now because of this hardcore liberal aspect, right? We're so hardcore liberals. We're just anti-Trump 24/7. That's a confused young lady right here. If you're born a girl and you grow up a girl and you get to the age of 28, ladies and gentlemen, it's not a child. It's a 28-year-old adult. Sorry. I'm not going to give you the 18-year-old fresh out of high school, so I'll call you a child still kind of vibe. No.
28.
28. You could have graduated high school and college and spent the last 3 or 4 years doing your career.
Right.
Which could have been a teacher or a veterinarian. I don't know. All I'm saying is you were already confused about who you were as a person. And those are difficult conversations to have with yourself. Much less other people.
And whatever mental issues she had going on top
That's
of
going to create mental issues. Plus, you're fighting with your mom and your dad about your identity, about who you are.
Your anger.
All they've known their whole life is their daughter. Now you're trying to say, no, you call me Aiden. No, I'm your mom and dad. I named you, and I will call you by the name I named you. And that, so help you God, so help you manifestation of whatever you believe in.
That's
the
probably
spaghetti
the response
monster,
she got
flying
as
spaghetti
well.
monster, right? Isn't there a church for the flying spaghetti monster? Yep.
Nice.
There is.
I don't care what you believe in. At the end of the day, I'm your parent. Like, you're not going to spend 28 years of your life being called Audrey.
Well, 100%.
And now you're
that's
wanting me
the
to call you
response she
Aiden?
got.
That ain't happening like quick. That's not going to be a conversation that's a one-time deal.
Not down there.
I just had that conversation with my daughter. This conversation we're getting ready to have, it's not a one-time deal. We're going to cross this bridge again.
Yeah.
We're going to argue about a couple of these things again in the future. I'm just letting you know. I am your parent, and I've been a child before and grew up, so I understand how this all works. We will be down this road. Sorry. Not trying to be mean, not trying to be rude, but it's like certain things are tough. And when you're dealing with certain things on your own, especially at the age you are, you know you're dealing with it on your own, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to be a confused, easily and susceptible person who will talk themselves into the dumbest things. You really will.
And they didn't know she owned 7 guns.
Yeah.
They thought she had 1 and she sold it.
Then again, she's 28.
Yeah, it's
But
unclear.
I think
People are very, very sneaky.
Did she leave? Did she live with her mom and
I'm
dad?
not sure.
I am not sure if she lived with her parents or not.
Yeah, when they said she had 7 guns, they just said at home, and it didn't say what her home was.
Yeah, I don't. I don't have any information on whether she literally lived.
But I don't know what she did for a job, but that's
guys,
pretty expensive.
Guys, I'm going to say this.
And it was in a few days' time.
This is important. The Sandy Hook's where this all went sideways.
That's the worst.
It is.
Of all these
Sandy Hook was the end of the gun debate for sure. It was when we normalized the killing of children.
Right.
Seriously, in the mass media, we were done as people in a society. We really were. Like, that was it. That was the end of that one, guys.
Just said, we're fine with it because of this protection we want.
Because of this amendment that we are so worried about, written by people that I was 25 million times smarter than just by being born at this time period in history.
Meanwhile, in Australia,
that's it.
That happened to a bunch of kids, and they're like, oh, that's it.
Yeah, they were done with guns, and now their society does it. And guess what? I know, guys,
fell apart.
Guys, listen to me. Listen to me. I know. All of you out there who are gun lovers, I know. If a criminal wants something bad enough, they'll get to it, and they'll do it anyway. I got it. I know it. Yep, you're right. 100%. I want to take all your guns away. Out of your hands. Off the streets. Gone. Then let those few people get to them if they can even find them. Or get to them at all. Where will they get them from? Somebody else who lied, held on to them, wanted to do bad things, and probably allowed this person to have access to it. I won't have to look far. They won't be hard to find. Pieces will lead back. When the whole world has none, the couple that show up out of the ground, you can run those lines right back to the people around them real quick. Can't hide then. Sorry. I understand that you all love your KYRO. You love your conservative talk, your Fox News. I know you love that. I'm done with the dead kids. Sorry. Listen, Matt's sitting right across from me. Matt, you believe in God?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that God loves all the children?
Yes, sir.
Do you believe that God wants this world to be procreated and to have new children to believe in God?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That only happens and is only maintained properly if I have less guns. That's it.
Not true.
Very true. I want it.
You know, dying from a gunshot is now
and I'm a gun owner.
Leading death of children of a certain age.
I'm a gun owner. I'm a gun owner.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's the leading cause.
I'm going to look that up.
That age.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here, I'll pop that up.
I love the fact that in 2023 we live in a world where the stat can be brought up immediately improved. I love it. You know, when me and Matt first met, and Matt, you remember these days, we would get into arguments all the time. And we didn't have like when we first met, we had flip phones.
Yeah, but they're not like arguments.
But hear me out.
Discussions.
But hear me out. We had flip phones. We would argue, and we wouldn't really have a way to figure things out. It wasn't until you get to like 2012, 13, 14. Now we have like iPhones and Androids, and we're able to look things up on Google. Those conversations got so much more sideways.
It used to be only if you were at home and you had to boot up Windows XP. You know, like Windows Vista, and then you could look something up. But like when you and I were first hanging out, it was all flip phones. BlackBerries were just starting to become a thing. You know, T-Mobile had not come out with their G1 Android phone yet.
All right.
There was no Google on mobile.
So as of 2021, there's no 22, 23 data.
Okay.
Guns were the leading cause of death for U.S. children ages 1 to 19, excluding children under 1 year old who may have had some sort of specific condition or
Sure.
something like that.
I understand that. Some medical condition.
Overtaking what used to be auto accidents.
Makes
That's
sense, too.
crazy.
Makes sense, too.
That's just crazy.
If I would have heard secondhand smoke or something, I would have been blown away. I'd been like, really?
You know, meanwhile,
Wow.
we're getting better and nicer car seats, safer. We got
I wonder.
vehicles are safer.
I wonder what that statistic would be in like Israel, because in Israel
I can look
you
that up.
are required to learn gun safety.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got to take a quick break here on
invasion.
KYRO. Look that up while we're at the break. When we come back, we're going to talk about that a little bit. But I want to do this new game. I want to try this new game and see how it works. Okay, Jay? Are you in for a new game?
I'm totally in for a new
All right, we're going to try this ranker review. We'll be back on KYRO, the Q now, after this. We love all forms of music here on The Q Now, Jason, including EDM and techno. Little Darude, Sandstorm.
That classic.
I'm a big fan of Bad Boy Bill.
You like Bad Boy Bill?
Classic techno
All right.
beat here.
Here's the dealio. I want to do a new game here on the show. I don't know how long it's going to last. Could be one segment, could be two. But the rules are simple. We go to Ranker, which is a list service on the internet. You go to ranker.com. Anybody can do it. And they have all kinds of lists you can follow. All kinds of lists. And there's people that are constantly talking on all these lists about
I can imagine.
different things. All kinds of different things. But here's the dealio. I have decided to choose a list off of Ranker on their main page. That is how we will do the choosing of said game, okay? Whatever's hot at the moment.
Yeah.
And then we will go to their list starting at number 10, going backwards towards number 1, right? Because obviously the way that they're currently ranked is the way that the people view it. I want to start at 10. I want to get to number 1.
I hate when
I
they
want
do
to
that. They start at
see
1.
if we move a guy up or down based on the guy before or after him. Okay?
Okay.
So we'll start with number 11 is Tom Holland. The reason we're going to start with number 11 is because Tom is right behind number 10, which is where we truly start. Chris Evans. Now, do we believe that Chris Evans is worth more, cooler? Remember, this is the ranking of the coolest movie actors, I think, currently. Okay? Coolest current movie actors in 2023. Who is the coolest actor in the world right now is exactly what it says. Okay?
I thought this might have been like a top Avengers actor or something.
No. Chris Evans is above Tom Holland. Now, is Chris better than Tom Holland?
Well, cooler-wise,
I
Captain
feel-
America
well, yeah,
is
I guess
not
you're right. Cooler.
than Spider-Man.
You're right. Captain America is not cooler than
He's
Spider-Man, though,
older
but I
and
feel
nerdy,
like
and
he
Spider-Man's
gave.
young and
I feel like Chris Evans
I'd rather
gave.
be Captain America personally.
That's what I was gonna say. I
Well,
feel like
he's a little more
Chris
powerful.
Chris Evans gave Captain America a little value.
Oh, yeah.
I think he gave him a little value. I think that the argument could be made.
He played it well.
I also feel like Chris Evans, because remember, he's as an actor, the coolest actor. I think that his outside work beyond Marvel is a little deeper and stronger
it's
than
way
Tom
better.
Holland.
Yeah.
We
He was-
got Scott Pilgrim. We got, what is it, Jumper.
He was great in, what's the one he did with Keanu Reeves? The cop one. He was good in that. I can't remember. I'm going to look it up at the break.
He played Human Torch in Fantastic
Yeah.
Four.
That's right. I forgot about that. He's
Right.
in 2 of those movies.
He's Johnny Storm.
Right?
That's right.
2 characters.
got 2 Marvel
He was in
ones.
Gifted, Snowpiercer.
What's the one? It's about probably around
Sunshine.
2008 or 9. Something Kings.
Not another teen movie. Can't forget that
Oh,
one from the
yeah.
beginning of his career.
But he was in a cop movie.
I'm pretty sure he
with Keanu
wore the
Reeves.
whipped cream bikini in that movie.
Now, he's a current ranking of number 10. Current ranking of number 10. Is this a fair ranking, or do we feel right now, currently, he should be higher than a number 10 ranking?
Well, he
Tom
definitely
Holland's
should be-
really only got Spider-Man, which is pretty
he should
heavy.
definitely be
but
higher than Tom Holland.
Okay, he should be definitely higher than Tom Holland.
Give
Now,
Tom 5 more years, maybe.
here's the question.
So now we'll wait and see.
Number 9 is another individual, an English actor, named Tom Hiddleston. Do you know Tom Hiddleston?
Yeah.
Oh,
He's Loki.
I'd put Chris Evans above Tom.
Now,
Maybe.
Right now we have Chris Evans.
I mean, Loki was a great show.
But
I think Tom Hiddleston's only really known for Loki, though. Like, I don't think of him as like this coolest
and he seems
actor.
stiff.
Now, I would say that I've seen some interviews with him. I feel like he can play along.
I've seen him cry on command.
He can play along with people really well, but so can Chris Evans. He can carry a conversation relatively well. And I do agree with Jay. I feel like, in my deep gut, Chris Evans is higher than a Tom Holland. Or Tom Hiddleston, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he might.
Than Tom
might go to
Hiddleston.
9.
I would move him up to 9. Would you not?
I would.
I would.
All right, all right. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna hit up on Chris Evans. We're gonna hit down. We're gonna hit down on Tom Hiddleston, which puts number 8 in peril. Because now it's Dwayne Johnson. It's The Rock. And honestly, there is a dark horse argument here, potentially, that Dwayne could be the coolest actor currently in the business.
I think he's technically highest paid.
Definitely highest paid.
He's a nerdy kind of cool too, but he's like a big, huge guy.
He doesn't have the largest box office.
Sure.
And I will say,
but he's been in better movies than Chris Evans. I will say that. Like
the Rundown
is fantastic.
Was a really good
Dude,
movie.
Too Cool or whatever it was, where he played the gay guy. That was hilarious. He's got quite a few different Doom. He's got quite a few different.
He fought
movies.
7 of 9 in Star Trek.
There you go.
I mean, every Marvel movie Chris Evans is in.
Fast and Furious series.
Yeah,
I mean, like
all 3 Captain America.
Dwayne Johnson. I feel like Dwayne is better than Chris Evans.
Yeah.
And cooler than Chris Evans. Now,
Dwayne only
He's
plays
got the WWE
one
stuff,
character, though.
Yeah, he's usually just The Rock.
He's usually just The Rock.
Okay, that's fair, and we can use that against him because should he be higher than an 8? That's the question first. Should he be higher than an 8? I feel like he's top 5.
Yeah,
I feel like he's top 5 for sure. What do you think, Jay?
I don't know if he's top. I mean, when I think of cool, I'm thinking of like Brad Pitt, Johnny Depp. I'm not thinking of The Rock.
All right. So coming in at number 7, who kind of falls into your category that you're talking about. You ready? Though he kind of has that Chris Evans going on. Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman kind of has
kind of a
his
nerdy
the Marvel X-Men stuff with his Wolverine.
I really like the movie Kate and Leopold. Is that just me?
No. Listen.
Like he did that with Meg Ryan. It was such a good movie.
I mean,
he
did hit Van Helsing, right?
Not a great movie, but
he did The Prestige. Fantastic
was a good movie.
The
Greatest
Fountain,
Showman.
Les Miserables, right? The Greatest Showman. Fantastic.
Yeah, it was Jean Valjean, right?
That's right.
He might be higher. We'll have to wait and see when this Deadpool movie comes out.
I don't know.
Raise his coolness.
But I will say this.
You know it'll be rated R.
Is he cooler than Dwayne The Rock Johnson? I like his style a little bit better and different, but like you said,
who would you rather hang out with?
But I would rather hang out with The Rock. I feel like
but you're a wrestler.
But I feel like hanging out with Dwayne would just be more fun. I feel like Dwayne's the kind of guy who might, if you caught him on a random day, would be like, "Yo, let's go grab the jet skis and let's go hit the whatevers and blah blah blah." Like I don't feel like Hugh's like that. I feel like Hugh's a little more low key.
Well, he want to,
and I am a little bit more low key. Like I think that.
And not Tom Hiddleston.
The Rock might be
like,
almost too
Hugh
high
Jackman
energy
just
to
seems
hang
like he
around.
might make more time for me.
But I think I think I would get sick of The Rock before I would get sick of Hugh Jackman, because I think The Rock would be so up, like just high energy,
amped all the time,
like all the time. Like
I'm
we're never
exhausted
gonna
by
calm
you.
down, and I'm just like I can't physically hang out with you anymore because I'm gonna die.
I am not The Rock.
Like,
I cannot keep up.
I just want to talk to you on the phone, like because I just can't.
I will take you in 30
have you ever
minutes.
seen like his schedule and his non-filming schedule? He's like up. It's like a Mark Wahlberg schedule. He's like up at 5. He does like this huge workout. It lists everything he eats. Then he does something.
I
like
couldn't
meetings.
live that way eating the way that they do,
Then
man.
he
I
eats
just
a bunch.
can't do that.
Then he works out again. He works out like 4 times a day. It's just exhausting.
It's exhausting to work out that much. I like Hugh Jackman, but I feel like The Rock grows higher.
Yeah, The Rock's definitely cooler. I mean,
So I would put The Rock higher and Jackman down personally.
maybe
What about
even
you, Matt?
slide Jackman back behind Evans.
No.
I don't know.
Hugh Jackman's definitely
Although Wolverine was
bigger.
pretty cool.
Coming up at number 6 is a female entry.
Woo-hoo.
So we have to consider this. Scarlett Johansson has entered the building, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I'd rather
Once
hang out
again,
with ScarJo than The Rock.
have we noticed
but The
that
Rock is definitely
every
cooler.
Single one
Yeah,
of
is she
these,
cool though? Like,
every single one of these has had a superhero about them. They've been in a superhero
Yeah,
movie
yeah.
as a
yeah, The Rock
superhero.
was Black Adam.
Superheroes are cool.
Every single one of
you
these.
go.
Now, she's got Tony Awards. She was in The Horse Whisperer, right?
Yeah.
The Prestige also,
I
if
just
you
know
remember
her-
that.
She's been in a bunch of stuff, and I only really know her as Black Widow.
Exactly. Black Widow. She's in the Marvel Universe as Black Widow. So, is she cooler than Hugh Jackman and The Rock?
No.
No.
I don't think so. I
She's
think she's got to
prettier.
go down. Yeah, she's prettier.
Yeah,
but
her
that's-
looks might get her above
but
Evans.
cool-
Who would I rather go out on a date with?
Sure, yeah.
Scarlett Johansson.
But coolest.
No.
I feel like Jackman and The Rock. So The Rock moves on up to at least number 6. Scarlett's going to take a back seat down. Hugh's going to go above her. The Rock moves up. Now he's got some battling to do. Number 5,
Rowan Atkinson.
Chris Hemsworth.
Oh.
He's pretty cool.
Thor's pretty cool.
He's cool in other movies too.
Yeah, but he's cool. Exactly. Like, he's cool with being himself
Right.
as a unique, funny person in other movies where he just plays himself. There
Then
was
he
like
did
a
that
romantic comedy
one-
that he
the
showed up in.
National Geographic thing or whatever, where he put himself to this physical torture, like the.
Something like that.
I liked him as.
He was in Red Dawn.
That's right, he wasn't.
I liked him as Kevin in the Ghostbusters movie that came out in 2016 with
things.
Melissa McCarthy.
I liked 2 things. I liked the movie Rush that he was in.
Yeah.
I thought that was really good, and I also liked Cabin in the Woods.
Cabin in the Woods was a great movie.
And we forgot he was
That's
also
a
in the
cult
Ghostbusters as a supporting role
Yeah.
with the female one, right? That was the
Yeah.
female one.
I just said that.
Sorry. I didn't hear you. I
It's okay. You were reading. It's all right. You're keeping us on track.
Chris Hemsworth. Is he cooler than The Rock?
He had a cool role in that with the whatever the Night at El Dorado, whatever that movie's called.
I like the
Oh,
fact
yeah.
that Chris does things like that. Like, he's
Yeah.
like a Leo who'll just do he'll do like or Johnny Depp. He'll
Pays
do like
the
a
bills with Avengers, but then
right.
does these
Yeah,
side
yeah, but he does
projects.
these little things where he
Fun
shows
and
up for
be
fun and all
artistic.
that. I like that.
I think he's good.
I feel like I would like to hang out with Chris.
Yeah.
I feel like hanging out with
Right.
Chris over Dwayne.
He would-
If we're going down the friendship side, I feel like Chris is a little
But hey,
bit.
think about it this way: Dwayne might buy you a car.
He might, but so can Chris. Chris got money.
yeah,
Chris
he's got
ain't
poor
poor.
money.
Chris has got that old school money too. Plus, he's European. Like he's got
The Rock
that.
might not have as much.
Do we consider Australia European, or do we just call it Australian?
He's
Because
Australian.
we know it is Australian.
He's
It's
way down
Australia, but everything they do is European.
The Rock might not have much money though. He just bought the XFL.
He bought that a few years ago, though.
I'm going to choose Chris.
and now they're actually playing, so he's starting to earn money.
I'm going to choose Chris Hemsworth.
I think so. I think you're right.
Yeah.
All right.
Hemsworth.
Hemsworth moves on.
Sorry, Rock.
Hemsworth
He's
moves
still
up
cool though, Rock.
from
yeah.
number 5 to number 4. But he's in a battle now with Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh no.
I mean,
He's way
Sam's
cooler
cool.
than Hemsworth.
Yeah,
Just
I think
the
Movie-wise, he's got a better catalog, sure.
Just the diner
He's also
scene
been
of Pulp
doing
Fiction alone.
He's also been doing it longer.
Reach in there and grab my wallet.
But would Sam be cool to
What
hang?
is it?
It says, who is the coolest actor in
be
the
like-
world right now? I guess coolest actor
man.
would be as far as their work goes, too.
Just
so, yeah,
based on
that's
the
cool.
line, we're going to be like 3 little Fonzies. What's Fonzies like, Yolanda?
Yeah.
He's cool.
He's cool. That's
He's
right.
cool.
He's cool.
That's right.
Right.
He's cool.
Look at the big brain on Brad over here.
It's
yeah.
almost like I haven't read like the behind the scenes stuff, but it's almost like Tarantino wrote that for Samuel L. Jackson today
Yeah, sure.
because he was unknown back then for the most part.
All right. Sam or Chris?
I liked him as the robber in
And
the
Coming to America.
Coming to
Yeah,
America. I
right?
almost said Trading Places, but they're almost the same movie. But yeah,
gotta go
dude,
Sam,
Samuel L.
yeah.
Jackson.
You know what he never gets talked about in is Negotiator. What a good role.
Yeah, he was the
like
guy
that's
outside.
a really good movie.
Yeah, that was a good.
And John Q. John Q never gets talked about, and that was a great too.
I liked him as Mr. Glass.
Yeah, Mr. Glass. All right.
Yeah.
So we're all agreeing Samuel L. Jackson,
Yeah.
coolest wise.
He's pretty cool.
He's pretty cool.
Moving
right?
past our boy
Even in Jackie Brown, he
Hemsworth,
was cool.
right?
Yeah.
He's moving
Oh, yeah.
past Hemsworth. Now, he's at number 4. Number 3 is Robert Downey Jr. I feel like Sam is more cool than Robert Downey Jr.
Honestly, I think I have a lot more in common with Robert Downey Jr. And so, like, who would I rather hang out with always kind of comes into play because I could talk to him about some of his past versus
I see
some
what
of
you're
my
doing.
past.
Would you rather hang out with
Things
Robert
that
Downey
we've
Jr.
overcome.
now or in 1996?
Definitely not 1996. I
Could you
would make
imagine?
bad decisions if I was hanging out with Robert
might be
Downey Jr.
But
in
is he
96.
cooler
might
than
be-
Samuel L. Jackson?
Tony Stark's cooler than Samuel L. Jackson? But
I
don't
mean,
know if,
I like his movies a little bit.
I mean, on the coolness level, he has all the Avengers stuff, the Iron Man stuff, but Sherlock Holmes is kind of cool.
Sherlock Holmes is
And he's
very
got that.
cool.
But Samuel Jackson has all those Tarantino films.
Yeah, but Robert also gets all those teen films from the 80s, too, bro.
That's right.
Like, he gets all of that.
He was in one
dude.
of the, what do they call that, the Brat Pack?
Yep,
Yeah,
part of
he
the
was-
Brat. He's in Lesson Zero. I forgot about that. Oh,
And
yeah.
that is
He's
a
a-
fantastic
He's
movie.
a bully in Weird Science.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was in Zodiac, too. I forgot about Zodiac.
He was really good.
Was he in
Zodiac.
Tropic Thunder.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, he's
All right.
cool.
I
And
feel like.
was he in Rumblefish?
Now, wait.
No, I don't know.
Does Tropic Thunder in blackface give him more coolness than an actual black man?
Well, he
in
seems
Samuel
to
L.
be the
Jackson?
only person to actually pull it off and get away with it.
But I mean, I guess in his defense, he's playing a character doing that, and he played it so
But
well.
he is pretty cool. If you got him in your movie,
playing a dude who's playing another dude.
if you got him in your movie,
wow,
if-
okay.
if you got him in your movie right now, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Instant
All right.
credibility for whatever
All
film it
right.
is.
So over Samuel L. Jackson, yes?
I don't
Yeah,
know. Nobody
because-
went and
you know
saw
what?
Mr. Dr. Doolittle.
Because Samuel Jackson has made a lot of films for money, too, though. And
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. doesn't
Was
quite
that
have
Deep-
that.
All right.
Blue Sea?
So are we
Just
going?
a lot of that stuff.
Are we going
Snakes on a
Robert Downey
Plane.
Jr.?
Thanks on the plane was
We going
awesome.
Robert Downey Jr.?
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Robert Downey Jr. is going to stay. We're going to hold there. We're going to take a quick break here on KYRO. That's News Radio, KYRO.com. And when we come back, more with our friends from the Ranker list, the Ranker game. That we're having fun here. We're almost to the end, though. We're going to find out who's in these top two spots going up against Robert Downey Jr. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to KYRO, to the Q Now. I am your host, Mark Bland. This is the best radio show in the entire city of St. Louis, Missouri, and all of its outlying areas. These are the best two co-hosts in all of St. Louis
That's right.
currently, Matthew
Amen.
Cougar and Jason Cole, or as I like to call them, Matt Jason.
I had a feeling you were like, this is the greatest and best show in the world.
This
And
is
I-
the
as-
great
as I
and best
hear
show
that
in the world.
Jack Black's name.
No,
in
hear me.
his voice.
Hear me out. I just let you do it for me. That's what you just did. You explained that this is
Well,
the
it
best
is.
show in the world.
This is the greatest and best show in
All
the
right.
world.
Currently, we are sitting on the Ranker game, and we are down to the last two spots. Robert Downey Jr. is pretty cool.
He is pretty cool.
He's at number 3. His competition in number 2 is tough.
1 and 2, I have an idea, a name in my head of one of these names, and he's going to be hard to beat.
Number 2 is Ryan Reynolds.
That was the name.
He's pretty cool.
Now, I'm not going to lie to you. Ryan's got a hell of a resume.
Van Wilder.
Right.
Dude.
Just beyond
He's
that.
about ready to be
Beyond that.
super rich.
His
He's gonna sell
Deadpool
that
stuff
mint.
is hilarious.
Deadpool's great.
Dude, he
He's
just
a
sold a
genius-
cell phone company.
Yeah,
He's
right.
a
Mint
genius
Mobile.
businessman. This is not like Elon, which, by the way, we're getting ready to
Did
get.
you guys see Amityville Horror with him in it as the crazy dad that gets possessed?
Oh, yeah, he's an
Really?
actor.
He
Yeah.
was scary.
He's an
Good.
actor.
He really is good.
I will say that he's probably cooler.
I
Than
think
Robert
so,
Downey
too.
Jr.
He's real good at self-effacing.
I really,
comedy.
it's so,
Yeah, like
and by the
talk
way,
shows.
he can
tongue-in-cheek
handle
comedy.
TV or movies. Like he can kind of like jump between and play around.
He's just so dang charming.
And he's a football club owner.
He made Peter Griffin
yeah,
fall in
he
love
owns
with
a
him.
football
Right.
club with the guy from,
From,
Sunny.
Sunny, yeah.
All right, he's at number 2. Is he better than Robert Downey Jr.?
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
So I think that we leave him right where he's at.
Number 1 is Tom Cruise. I'm walking out.
Number 1.
Definitely weird.
Number 1. It's going to be tough, but it's potential. Ryan Reynolds at number 2, or he can become number 1 if he beats Keanu Reeves.
Oh,
Reeves
yeah.
is cool, man.
Keanu Reeves is really
he's
cool, and he's
so
got an
low-key.
amazing
That resume.
background and resume. Like, he really does.
Based on my love of The Matrix alone, and
Matrix.
Bill and Ted.
Bill and Ted.
I love Bill and
John
Ted.
Is he
Wick.
cool,
Dracula.
though? But listen,
Dracula's
like, if
a
I
great
have
film.
Ryan in my movie, I feel like I've got somebody. Like, listen, if Keanu shows up in my movie, I'm probably a high-powered individual who was able to talk him into it.
Yeah.
If I saw Keanu show up into like a lower budget thing out of the blue, that would probably make me go, oh, the dude's pretty dang cool. Like, he's all over the place, got a great resume, and he's willing to like play around. Ryan will. Ryan will literally show up on a TV show. He'll show up on a this or that. Like, he'll show up anywhere and kind of blow you away. Right? He's like the guest host for Saturday Night Live you keep waiting for. And you're like, eventually they're going to get Ryan back on there. Oh, yeah, they will. And when he comes back, it's going to be amazing.
Ratings will go up.
It'll be amazing. It'll be amazing. Like, he's that kind of actor. I would give that to him over Keanu.
Keanu
But
has,
like you said, your
Keanu was in a
nostalgia is
band.
buitle into that. Yeah, Keanu was in a band.
Yeah.
Keanu
a popular
has
band,
a
too.
special, humble, gentle, graceful energy that
it
just
does.
makes you feel calm in his presence. Now, I'm not saying that I've ever hung out with him.
He has
but
the resume too to be like the cool movie resume.
Point Break, man.
Point Break.
He
And
was
and he really doesn't
certainly
have
cool.
a problem sliding into some sort of like support
Devil's
background
advocate.
role.
Dude, The Devil's Advocate was a great movie. And
He doesn't
and
get
was
a
in
lot of
there.
credit. He
Dracula.
actually is really
He was in
good
Dracula.
Oh, yeah.
Like he is believable in his films.
So he's got it over Ryan Reynolds as far as the acting credits go, for sure. Nothing against Ryan. He just has a little bit more value from doing Van Wilder. You know what I'm saying?
Keanu-
and then
Keanu
getting
rides a
everything.
motorcycle.
Because he was
Keanu-
Green Lantern, but even he made fun of that.
Is Keanu cooler than The Rock?
Bring
Uh,
that back again with The Rock. You get like dork energy. You know what I mean? Like he's just like a musclehead, goofy guy who kind of wear you down. Where Keanu,
I could see
probably do
Keanu and I sitting on the
anything.
couch.
Yeah,
I
like,
feel
for like
Keanu
3
is
hours.
cool.
I don't think you could hang out on a couch with The Rock. He'd freak out.
I feel like Keanu's cooler. I feel like Keanu's cooler.
yeah,
Freak out.
you know what I mean? Though, like
he would,
just
I got to get moving.
And The Rock used
But
to
we
speak of
said
himself in the
Ryan
third
is for sure cooler than The Rock. We said that for sure.
Yeah, that top four is for sure better. Like that.
Okay,
he
so
fits in
then
the middle.
Keanu beats The Rock, obviously.
Yeah.
So does Keanu beat Ryan? There, where we at? Let's vote. I'm going Ryan.
I'm going Keanu.
I think I'm going Keanu too, only because
Okay.
there's a little darkness to Keanu.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen.
Ryan's like that cool frat boy who's real cool though.
The-
Keanu is like that dark guy who
the winner.
wasn't popular.
He's the bad boy.
The winner of the Ranker Game first edition episode that we've ever done.
Yeah, that was fun.
Who's the coolest actor in the world
neat.
right now goes to Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen.
And it's fitting because John Wick's probably the coolest movie going right
Is he cooler than Elon Musk?
Dude,
now. Right.
Is he cooler than Elon Musk?
who puts more work into their job?
Keanu.
Keanu, have you seen
Yeah.
his training videos for like The Matrix
He
and
gets
John
into
Wick?
what he does, yeah.
Elon's a
He
loser.
can really pull those things
Elon
off.
is a loser.
We need to talk about Elon for a second.
Keanu's never went into a movie and devalued it on purpose.
That's right. Matt, what do you think about Elon?
I think Elon has made a couple of good decisions in his life. He's acquired some very profitable companies that's done very well for himself.
Sure.
I think he handles himself okay in interviews where people try to trap him.
What about his character?
His character, I feel, is sometimes questionable because some of the things that he's done in business and how he has acquired these or turned them into a profit, I don't think are the best ways,
Yeah.
but they have been effective.
I mean, he had money to buy into all the companies that he buys. Now, how he got that money, the blood diamonds, the mines, the family that was rich with apartheid, everything like that. All the true story that he never once wanted to hear about, which is fine.
No.
Listen, that was 30, 40 years ago, dude. We're not going to hold you like accountable like that. Just admit to these things when people ask you about them. Like, it's okay. We know you got your money from somewhere. That's it.
Here's a genuine take, I think, on Elon. He seems like he could very, very easily become Lex Luthor.
Yeah,
and he doesn't.
That's what we say.
him a James Bond
but
villain.
he doesn't.
That's what we say that on the show all the time.
Yeah, we called him a James Bond.
We call him
villain.
like a James Bond villain.
Ah.
Do you see
He's
what I'm
got
saying?
the
Same
tag
idea.
to
That's
turn
that
it
same
evil.
But
idea.
he doesn't seem genuinely evil to me.
I think he's just aloof.
Is he like Gru from like Minions? Like, is that what we're dealing with here?
Maybe. Well, Gru ultimately chooses good, so.
But I think I don't think he has
That's
that
Gru,
social
though.
awareness because he does have a condition and it affects.
He's on the spectrum, right?
All right.
It affects your social.
Could I bring
awareness.
we got to bring
And
this
it
up.
just does.
We got to talk about this. Elon Musk is a moron. And the reason Elon Musk is a moron is simply this, ladies and gentlemen. Elon bought a company valued at, in my opinion, at the time,
Yeah.
valued at maybe 5 to 7 billion
Yeah,
max.
I think generous.
Max.
I had heard someone say 10 billion.
Yeah, max, 5 to 7 billion. And then said he would pay 44 billion for it. Now, they held him to the stones on that. He supposedly was able to get his funding together for 44 billion and whatever assets, liquidity, however they needed to pull that
I
off.
had heard that it was worth upwards of 75 because of expected futures based on the stock market.
Now, where we are sitting currently, the futures that they've been for the last year straight saying are going to tank. We're going to go into a recession because nothing is going to be good. Inflation is coming. Like that's all they've been saying for a year straight. How would they even have futures that said that? So now, the other day, out of his own mouth, this is not me speculating. This is not Jason stating a number. This is Elon's valuation that he literally put public. He said his company was worth $20 billion.
So he's lost half.
All right.
Bro, that is an L. That in the day today's kids, right? That's a massive L. Big L on your forehead, however you want to do it. I don't care. Like L. That's a failure. You take any company. Listen, if I'm a CEO, I just get hired. My company was worth $50 million. And 6 months later, after I take a CEO, the company is worth $21 million. They're going to have my head.
Right.
On a
do
stake.
good, guys.
They're going to have my head on a stake for sure. Now, Elon runs his own stuff. He's running Twitter into the ground.
Tesla into the ground, stock-wise.
Tesla into the ground.
Nonsense.
This is where Matt's argument of character comes in. Now we're making stupid decisions. And here's the thing. You know what my argument against Elon is? And all of you out there in radio land will understand this, in KYRO land, in St. Louis, and around the world listening to us at theqnow.com. Elon is, well, he just can't help himself. He can't help himself understand that you can't be perfect at everything. A lot of us out there are good at some things, and we know this in our own lives, but you can't be perfect at everything. And if you put so much on your plate, like Jason said off the air before we got on there, he's like, man, Elon sure has a lot on his plate. A lot on his plate. This guy's got this going and that going and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And it's like nuts. That is crazy.
Twitter,
how
SpaceX,
much
the borehole company,
yeah.
the space tile company, the Tesla. What else is he doing?
But no two people have benefited more.
Just keep going. There's so many other companies we probably don't even know the names of, but they're all there in his portfolio.
Starlink.
Starlink.
Yeah, Starlink. But no two people have benefited more from perception than Elon Musk and Donald Trump.
But that's my point. My point being, Elon's problem is like Trump's problem is he just lies. Lies. Elon doesn't lie. He doesn't go out of his way to tell the truth. Elon just kind of does Elon's thing.
Yeah.
But Elon's problem is I don't think he's good at everything. I think he's good at a couple of things. Well, he's not good at everything. And he tries to be everything to everyone. And it's like, you don't need to be everything to everyone.
I heard him say in an interview once, because he was being grilled, and he's normally grilled because people are really hard on him. He's like being asked, what makes you think that you're qualified to send rockets into space? What is your training? Are you a rocket scientist? And he just very calmly is like, well, no, I know who to surround myself with. I know what people are good at, and I know who to hire. That's what I'm good at. And they do all the work. And I'm like,
He should hire someone to run Twitter.
Maybe. I had saw something the other day, and I know he's made some questionable decisions on Twitter, but the other one that I read, it was either today or yesterday, stuck out at me the most, that said only verified accounts are going to be algorithmically included in your feed.
Right.
Yeah.
And I thought,
what?
Why? Like, I'm going to have friends and their accounts.
He removed the replies.
That I
Have you
might
noticed
follow,
that?
Yeah, I saw that.
And I'm not going to see them anymore?
Bro, I don't even know. Like, I've got hundreds upon hundreds of people a minute
You're shooting yourself in the foot.
talking to me about different things I've said online, and Jason can verify like millions are seeing these tweets. Bro, I can't even answer their questions because I don't know if they're referring back to me or to somebody else that was in the thread, because he's removed all at replies from like from the line
so
on
just
your
replying
notification
into a
side,
big hole.
so it doesn't tell you who they were talking to. So all three of us could have been having a conversation, and I'm replying to you, but when you see it on your line, you can't tell if it's me or him that was talking to you. You have no clue because it took out the thing that told everybody what they're doing and who they're talking to.
You know what else I heard? And that sounds miserable. I don't
It
like
is.
not
It's
knowing
weird,
who I'm talking to.
but this is all
But
weird.
I heard that the Twitter source code was leaked on GitHub.
The Twitter source code was leaked
Start
on
your own Twitter.
GitHub.
Yeah.
I don't even know what GitHub is.
It's a file sharing network
Yeah,
where you go and you can upload, like mega
Does that make
links
me
or something
weird
like
or
that.
corporate
bad?
espionage.
Does it make me bad in 2023?
No,
to
like
not
you
be
can
up
go,
to date?
like you can
Or
go,
am I getting old now?
like going to GitHub. Like probably the most popular thing that they have is like RetroPie, right? Like you could go and get like the Raspberry Pi code, the open source code to build yourself the retro gaming machine.
Nice.
And it's just kind of where they host those types of files.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've gotten to the end of what is the Q Now. We've talked about everybody. We've had Matt Kruger on. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you being here.
Appreciate you, sir.
We had on Jason Cole.
Thank you.
We have all of you out there. I want to remind you that April 8th at South Broadway Athletic Club in beautiful downtown St. Louis, we've got another MMWA event coming up. You can see myself as well as the Kings of Revolution in action. You can see the Brotherhood in action. Anthony Castaldi, the bane of my existence, along with Shaft, the other bane of my existence, will be there.
Quick count.
Tickets are $10 and $12. Seats are available. First come, first serve, of course. So get down there. Show starts at 7 p.m. And that is, once again, at the beautiful South Broadway Athletic Club in downtown St. Louis, Missouri on April 8th. That's April 8th, 2023. That's going to do it for us here on this episode of The Q Now on KYRO. I'm taking you out with a little Billy Idol. My name is Mark Bland. This has been The Q Now. You can check us out at theqnow.com, TheQNOW.com. Old episodes, new episodes, and everything in between. We will see you guys next time on the show.